All rise. Pouvez-vous lever? The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte.
Good morning, everyone. Court officer, would you be so kind as to call the case, please?
Situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In the case of the prosecutor versus Callixte Mbarushimana.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, the Appeals Chamber is delivering its judgment on the appeal brought by the prosecutor against the decision of Pre-Trial Chamber 1 of the 16th of December 2011, as already indicated, entitled Decision on the Confirmation of the Charges, and I will refer to this decision as the impugned decision. I shall summarize the judgment of the Appeals Chamber and the reasons for it. The judgment is unanimous, with a separate opinion by Judge Silvia Fernandez de Gurmendi, which I shall also briefly summarize in the end. The impugned decision was issued, as I indicated, on the 16th of December 2011. In this decision, the Pre-Trial Chamber declined by majority to confirm the charges against Mr. Mbarushimana. The presiding judge appended a dissenting opinion. On appeal, the prosecutor raises 3 grounds of appeal. 2 of those grounds relate to the Pre-Trial Chamber's power to evaluate the evidence in the impugned decision. The 3rd ground of appeal challenges the Pre-Trial Chamber's interpretation of Article 25(3)(d) of the statute. As to the first 2 grounds of appeal, they are closely related and concern the Pre-Trial Chamber's power to assess the evidence. First, the prosecutor argues that the Pre-Trial Chamber may not deny the confirmation of charges by resolving inferences, credibility doubts, and perceived inconsistencies against him, the prosecutor. His second argument is that the Pre-Trial Chamber may not evaluate the credibility and consistency of witnesses without the opportunity to examine the witnesses at trial. So long as the evidence submitted by the prosecutor is not credible on its face or incapable of belief, the prosecutor argues that it should be accepted. The Appeals Chamber disagrees with the prosecutor and rejects his arguments under the first 2 grounds of appeal. The Appeals Chamber finds that in determining whether to confirm charges under Article 61 of the statute, the Pre-Trial Chamber may evaluate ambiguities, inconsistencies, contradictions, or credibility doubts in the evidence. Any other interpretation would carry the risk of cases or charges going to trial, although the evidence is so riddled by, as I said, ambiguities, inconsistencies, contradictions, or doubts as to the credibility that is insufficient to establish substantial grounds to believe a person committed crimes charged. In his 3rd ground of appeal, the prosecutor submits that the Pre-Trial Chamber misinterpreted Article 25(3)(d) of the statute by imposing a higher level of contribution than actually required by that provision. He submits that this amounts to an error of law. At issue is whether the contribution to the commission or attempted commission of a crime by a person acting with a common purpose needs to be significant as held by in the impugned decision, or whether any contribution is sufficient as argued by the prosecutor. Mr. Mbarushimana, for his part, argued that the question whether a contribution must be significant is purely academic, because the pre-trial chamber found that Mr. Mbarushimana did not contribute at all to the alleged crimes. He therefore maintains that the issue raised under the third ground of appeal should be rejected. The Appeals Chamber decides to reject this ground of appeal. Turning to the separate opinion, Judge Fernandez de Gurmendi disagrees with the Appeals Chamber's approach to the third ground of appeal only insofar as she would have addressed the alleged legal error. Otherwise, she agrees with the judgment. For the aforementioned reasons, the Appeals Chamber unanimously delivers the following judgment. The decision on the confirmation of charges of 16th of December 2011 is confirmed. The appeal is dismissed. This concludes my summary of the judgment. Thank you all.
All rise, we will